Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. I see no one, so we'll move right on. The public hearing, we're going to open the public hearing, and unfortunately, it's HH 2019-19, Certificate of Appropriateness for 711 Main Street, map 41, parcel D8, in the CV zone and the Harwich Center Historic District. The application proposes new or modifications of features relating to doors, lights, parking, and signage. The application is pursuant to MGL C40C, paragraph 6, 711 Main Street, LLC owner, Samuel Patel, applicant, and it has been continued from last month's meeting. Unfortunately, and I apologize profusely, we have a quorum for the commission meeting. However, we don't have a quorum to vote on this article. I was not in attendance during the last meeting, and we need 4 who were in attendance in order to vote, so I apologize. So I have to request a motion to move through this. Where is my phrasing? Okay, I have a motion to continue this to a new date. We've kind of polled everyone. There will be 4 available a week from today. And so I would entertain a motion to continue this and move to the next.
I move to continue this till next Wednesday, the 25th.
25th, yeah.
25th of
Wednesday,
September.
the 25th, and
At 6
at
p.m.
6 p.m. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And, all right, all in favor, any
Aye.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and once again, we apologize.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Yes. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we can move through the agenda. The minutes from August 21st, has everyone had the chance to review them? Are there any additions, corrections, comments? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Okay, let me just, motion carries. The minutes are approved as written. The Zoning Board of Appeals, has everyone had the opportunity to review? And if so, are there any comments or issues that we might want to comment on? Of course, this is going to happen on the 25th. This is concerning their meeting on the 25th of September.
Do we know which 165 Gorham Road, which?
I was just wondering that too. I don't know which house that is. That's not in any historic district though, but it could be well over 100 years old.
Well, if they're going to do any
I was gonna say-
demolition, and it is
Yeah.
over 100, they'll have to come before us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, no issues on the agenda.
It is an old house.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it? Oh, yeah.
So that would, if they're gonna do anything.
Oh, yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Would that not have been picked up by the permit process with the building department?
I'd say it would have to, or wouldn't it?
Well, can you tell how old it is, Bob?
Just from the style, it looks old, but it, you know, sometimes
It could be
they
just-
make them and they're brand new, and it's,
Right.
because it's a traditional Cape home. But being on Gorham Road, I would not be surprised if it's old.
Right.
Well,
Well,
should
I
we,
think,
should we just make a comment that we're questioning the age?
Yeah. yeah, that any demolition would have to come before us, even partial demolition.
Okay. All right. Okay, I've made that note, and it'll just bring it to their attention and I don't see any, oh, yeah, okay. All right, so now that is the second point of the new business. The third point is to discuss the potential district of critical planning concern for West Harwich. And I'm assuming everyone's aware of what that means and where it
Mhm.
stands. And I think, first of all, it's a major hurdle has been moved through. And congratulations to Charlene for putting a huge, huge effort into
Mm.
creating that
Yeah,
application.
yeah.
It's quite, I mean, an amazing amount of work that went into it. So Mary suggested that we may want to issue a letter in support of the project to the commission. The more support, the better.
Mhm.
Can't hurt, and I don't know how everyone feels about it.
Mhm.
So everyone agrees that would be a
Absolutely.
good thing?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I doing a motion to.
Yeah, a
I
motion to-
move to approve a letter from the Harwich Historic District and Commission in support of the District of Critical Planning Concern for West Harwich, known as Captain's Row.
All right, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor, oh, any discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed?
No.
So unanimously approved. And I will see that a letter is put together in support of this
Yeah.
mission. And thank goodness for the video and the tape, because I can't write that fast. All right, so that is the new business, and now any reports on Other boards and commissions from anyone? I'm sure they're all meeting and doing fine jobs.
Well, unfortunately, I missed the CPC meeting, so I don't have anything to
Oh.
Yeah.
report.
Well, we're going to have a little discussion when we hit
That's in
the
the
old
old
business,
business,
so
yes.
we'll talk about that. And subcommittee updates.
Yes, we did have a meeting on the subcommittee to look at the guidelines.
Oh, good.
The committee's right here. And we started actually working on the report, particularly in the area of the violations, starting to look at that part and defining what violations, which is basically the beginning of the manual.
Right.
When do we have that meeting planned? Was it?
27th.
27th.
Might be too late to get that posted. One of the questions that did come up, and that I do want to consult with Mary, is that it was questioned whether this was an actual subcommittee or whether it was a working planning or working session. And it changes the
You're right.
of posting meetings and
Right.
time. So I do want to get that clarification from Mary.
Okay. Just from an outsider's point, because I missed meetings and
Mhm.
what I've had to look at would be the, Jean had a note what's in my calendar for this date, and then it was addressed as a subcommittee, so.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. So as I'm looking at it, that's what I assumed it was, but yeah,
Well,
it
and
needs
that-
clarification.
I need clarification, because it was recommended, because of the type of work we're doing, is just grinding through,
The
cleaning up the
existing-
thing.
right, the
It's really
existing.
more of a working, but
I
we need
think it is
Mary's
more of a
consultant.
working-
We need to get
Well,
Mary's,
Let me add,
blessing.
we do, but just for my own purpose and to open, because you probably were part of that original, were you?
yeah,
put
the
in the
original
original?
work on it,
Now,
yeah.
was that a work?
That was a working,
It-
oh, absolutely.
So it
That
was
was not a
posted-
subcommittee.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't, okay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
absolutely.
Okay, so I'll note that Mary, you want to talk with
Yeah,
Mary, and
that will talk to Mary,
we'll
yeah.
put that on the next, well, it'll be
Right.
there next,
Right.
for the next meeting on the agenda, the update. Okay, now we have committee member updates, which kind of sounds like a repetition, but,
Oh, yeah, for the boards.
okay, well, anything on that?
No?
Whatever it means. All right, then, the last item would be the letter from the Mass DOT Highway Division regarding the rehabilitation of Bridge. Oh, I'm going to read the letter, so it's the rehabilitation of Bridge H-10-019, Azalea Drive over Herringbrook. Now, in parentheses here, it says Mass Dot Highway Division Project File number 608617, Section 106 Review. And the letter is to Ms. Maslowski and members of the commission. The Mass Department of Transportation, Highway Division, Mass DOT Highway Division, and the Town of Harwich propose to rehabilitate Bridge H-10-019, which carries Azalea Drive over the Herring River in Harwich. See attached locus plan. It is anticipated that this project will be supported in part with federal funds and will require review. Therefore, under Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, as amended, in parentheses, 36 CFR 800, close parentheses. The following project information is provided for the Harwich Historical Commission's review in compliance with the regulations governing Section 106. The existing bridge is a single-span, precast, concrete deck beam superstructure resting on cast-in-place cantilever abutments with splayed wing walls. The span length of the existing bridge is 29 feet, 0 inches, and is skewed 15 degrees. The overall width of the superstructure is approximately 32 feet along the skew. The existing bridge carries one travel lane in each direction and a 5-foot 7-inch sidewalk along its east side. The proposed project will include a complete replacement of the existing. New integral abutments will be constructed over the existing abutments, which will be left in place. The proposed deck will be approximately 34 feet 6 inches in width, and the new span length will be 46 feet 7.5 inches. The proposed bridge will consist of 2 travel lanes, one in each direction, a 2-foot shoulder along the west side, and a 5-foot 6-inch sidewalk along the east side. It's estimated that approximately 150 feet of approach work will be required at each end of the bridge. Mass DOT Highway Division and the Town of Harwich request that the Harwich Historical Commission review the enclosed materials at its earliest convenience and solicit any comments that the Commission wishes to make regarding this project. Written comments should be submitted to Patricia Leavenworth, P.E., Chief Engineer, MassDOT Highway Division, 10 Park Plaza, Boston, Mass. 02116. Attention, Jeffrey Shrimpton. If you have any questions concerning the enclosed project information, please feel free to contact Tracy Ozimboni, 857-368-9291 of MassDOT Highway Division's Project Management Section, or myself, 617-531-0817. If you have any questions concerning the Section 106 process, please feel free to contact Jeffrey Shrimpton, 857-368-8824 of MassDOT Highway Division's Cultural Resources Unit. Sincerely, Adam P. Zisk, P.E., Principal Engineer.
I would assume the bridge is not historic nature,
I
being precast
doubt that it
concrete.
is.
I was about to say that.
And it's, so I don't know if we want to just say we have no objection to this replacement.
Yeah. It doesn't say when the work begins, does it? Did I read that and not hear myself?
When the work begins, or they probably have to get through all the permitting.
Yeah, it really doesn't have any dates. So, okay, so I guess we address it with a return comment saying we have no issues
Mhm.
Correct,
or concerns.
correct.
Should we vote on that? Or just
Yeah.
move it along? All right, I'll entertain a motion to issue a comment that we have no concerns or issues.
Motion as stated.
Second.
Okay, Bob. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Nothing? Unanimous. So we will do as we said. Okay. All right. Now we're on to old business, and Patty Torek, Board of Trustees, President, Chase Library, is a CPC application for restoration and preservation of the library door.
Mhm. She had,
was here last.
She was already
time.
here.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
She made a
and she
presentation.
presented, you know, and
She was trying to get some more specific kinds of estimates.
yeah,
Oh, Okay.
She had to get 3 estimates for the work. I think that's what
Yeah,
she was waiting for.
Right, and she was having trouble getting people who were enough of a specialist
To
to,
move
To
it.
restore the door.
I'm not sure if we actually voted to support the CPC request
Right.
at that meeting, but we should.
we should, yeah.
Right now, because of the
To
deadline.
move it through.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
That's a good
ba-
point.
certainly based on what she presented,
Right.
I move that we support the Board of Trustees of Chase Library in their CPC application for the restoration and preservation of the library door.
I'll second that.
Be with you in a minute. All right, so.
Oh.
Any discussion?
Are they?
No.
No, they, I think it's canceled, isn't it?
Yeah, wasn't there a notice?
They didn't have a quorum
Notice on the door, I think it was
downstairs.
canceled.
It could be on the side door too. There's 2,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
on this
on-
side if you can.
Yeah.
That does seem empty.
Yeah.
Have a good
That's
night.
quite all right.
All right, so, hearing no discussion, I'll,
Was, it- yeah, you seconded it. didn't
yeah,
you?
it's
Yeah.
been moved and seconded,
Second.
I
so
seconded it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, and opposed, none, so it's unanimous. All right, now I don't have any information on the annual meeting with the selectmen, that would be Mary,
Yes.
so I'm sure I will put that on the agenda for the next meeting,
Well,
unless.
that'll be after the fact by then.
It will.
Well,
Well,
wait a
I
minute.
guess in
Yeah.
her absence, we could discuss, did she want to have input as to what should be on her report?
She didn't seem to say anything about that. I don't recall her saying anything. I thought she just said she'd pull
Yeah,
some
she
things
didn't mention,
together.
I mean, I talked to her today, and she didn't mention this, so
Okay.
I don't think she's got an issue with it. But she did want to absolutely have me state on item 3 under old business that the cutoff date for applications, for CPC applications is October 1st. Is that
Correct.
correct, Bob?
That's correct.
And for the update on potential 2020 CPC requests from Historic, the cutoff date is the 1st of October. And if any applicant, or anyone has an application for any historic, and I'm saying this to the world, that, excuse me, that you could call the office and get on the schedule.
Right.
So, and the office would be the planning board, the planning,
CPC?
what office, though? I thought she would call,
Building. That's building department.
oh, building, okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't have the terms. That's why I'm not sitting here. More than once every 6 months.
So as far as we know, is the only one with a historic bent, if you will, is the door for the Chase
So
Library?
far.
So far,
Right, the only that's come to our attention.
right.
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 What about Brooks
I-
Academy?
I would think they have something. I know they just started on the bid process, so.
Mm. There's, aren't they still working on
Yeah,
what
but they can,
already came before us, so
Yeah.
they,
they can start applying for the second phase,
sure, yeah, they could, but,
whether they are or not.
yeah,
It's up to them.
right. Okay. And as long as we're discussing funding and
Mhm.
request applications, Bob?
Yep. So I passed out the application that I've started to fill out, and the key information is on the project descriptions and the budget. So that the title is Update of Town Historic Areas and Property Inventory. And the description, it's original CPA funds were allocated in 2006 to a partial inventory of the town historic properties. A total of XXX properties were entered into the Macris database, and I need to just confirm how many were done, but I believe there's well over 200 that Miranda did.
Right.
Wasn't that later than,
No, this is the
2000s.
original one. This is the original one, which was the work that was actually done to do the book and everything. And then we did another application in 14 or 15, which was to do clusters, and we never
Okay.
executed it, and that money was turned back.
okay,
So-
but I wasn't here in 2006, and I thought that the project that Miranda did was after that.
No, it was, but it was actually 2006 money.
Oh,
right.
okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
they held it open longer
Okay.
than the time allotted.
Okay, thank you.
And continuing, any properties over 99 years old were identified as properties that need to come before the HDHC prior to any demolition. This application for CPA funding asks for the following: update the 100-year list through 2020, cross-reference properties to the assessor's records, and a physical view of the property. And that is to, hopefully on any new additions, to eliminate that, the record may say it's 1850, we go out and, no, it's not.
Right.
So hopefully we can rectify that. Fill out the inventory form, that's the MHC Form B, for an additional 100 structures based on priority criteria from the HDHC. Priority will include clusters located in structures located in clusters. Now, that MHC Form B is actually a multi-part form. The first part of it is just to identify the property, the age, some style and type things.
Right.
But then there's a second part to the form which gives you a historical narrative
Right.
of the property, and that's what usually takes a lot of time and not always available. So you do the first part to get them in the database, but then on the second part, we're asking to fill out complete inventory forms on selected property, and this will add to the historical narrative portion to Form B. And those projects would be identified and prioritized by us. And it could be 5, it could be more, but I have a specific budget for that. And then identify and document historic areas defined by MHC. Complete MHC Form A on approximately 5 areas identified by the HDHC. These areas could include clusters of structures, as well as historic locations like spiritual campgrounds, Indian meeting locations, wharfs and docks, agricultural areas. An initial source for identifying areas will be the Harwich Reconnaissance Report, Massachusetts Heritage Landscape Inventory Program, completed in February of 2007. And that report did identify some historic, as well as, it was a general thing, open spaces and things like that. But they identified some areas that should require, or that may require extra study, that would be ones we would look at to continue and see if they're worthy of identifying as a historic area. Start date and completed date, 20 and 21. And this is, I didn't check the boxes, the computer wouldn't let me, but it's historic, and then HDC reviewed and endorsed this application. We endorse our own application. And does this project fit into local comprehensive plan or other plan? And stated information document of this project will aid in defining the cultural and historic portion of the comprehensive plan. The identification of clusters of structures and areas will encourage thoughtful discussion of how its historic past can be woven into future planning. And then how does it benefit the citizens of Harwich? This history of the town of Harwich covers a span more than 300 years. Work of the HDHC and other organizations like the Harwich Historical Society and Brooks Academy Museum all celebrate the town's past. Historical identification is one of the key components of the cultural economy, which brings tourism and jobs to Harwich. And then other boards or commission organizations that have involvement just stated that we're the ones that are developing this, and we're the ones involved in this, and that we're directly involved in this project. And I have put together a budget of a cost estimate of $34,500 is the request, and, there it is. So what I've come up with, and I've been consulting with Miranda and trying to get some feedback from Eric Dre
Yeah.
on just some budgetary numbers, but to just update the 100-year list with the additional properties since a few years ago, $2,000. Identify initial research properties, Form B, 100 properties at 150 each, that's 15,000. Additional research for historical narrative of Form B, and estimating 20 projects at $250 per property for 5,000. And document clusters and areas on Form A, 5 such clusters at 2,500 each for 12,500, which brings us to 34,500. The big area that is really difficult is the areas and clusters. It depends upon the size, the complexity, and it could be as small as an area like the Wixon Dock
Yeah.
that may be only $700, but if we pick a whole area like the West Harwich Captain's Row area, that could be even probably more,
Right.
because then you want to document, each house. Well, the documentation of each house is already done, I think, there. But then you want to put it together with history and
Right.
narrative and why it is an area or a cluster. So the total, as I said, total request will be $34,500. That's the tentative amount. So at this point, I think there was nothing else left other than signing it. And it's not land or building acquisition, so, and Mary would sign this. So we just have to fine tune this, and particularly on the budget, I would like to fine tune that a little better, if possible.
Great job.
Yeah.
And just for
That's really
reference, our
nicely
last
done.
application was for 20,000.
Oh, was
And
it?
that was just to do clusters.
Right.
Nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any comments or
This is
thoughts?
well
or-
done.
Good job.
Took a lot of
Great
I mean,
thought.
well, I copied a lot from our last
Oh, so
application.
You still did it, so.
But, yeah.
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a general question.
Yeah.
The comprehensive plan for Harwich, is that being updated, or is there
Yes,
any?
yes.
That's what I thought I read.
That last year, CPC gave considerable money to do that.
Okay.
And in fact, when we started talking about this, we wanted to actually do work for the comprehensive plan or overlap work. And then talking with Charlene, she made it very clear that there was enough money in the comprehensive plan, and they would do the actual overall historic planning, and that was not our job. Our job was to identify properties and areas and stuff. And of course, we'll have input into that.
Right.
But the value is really identifying the areas that then they can take and say, how does that fit into the comprehensive plan or whatever.
It would be interesting to hear if she could come at some point and talk to us about the plan and what it.
Well, I'm not sure how far they are on
Yeah.
that. I don't believe, I think they've just going out to bid on it,
Right. I don't think it's
so,
off the
Are
ground
they
yet.
working at all with someone like an Eric Dre?
oh, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure that they're hiring
Yeah.
a consultant, but I don't know.
He's such a font of knowledge.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is a comprehensive plan, it's not just historic.
Right, I
So you
understand,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't,
Right,
Yeah.
but he did a really good job in Provincetown, I think,
Oh,
with what
absolutely.
he's put together and
Yeah.
how it's
Yeah.
incorporated, and just the whole look and feel of the downtown part of Provincetown hangs together.
That project was to make the whole town a historic district,
right,
so you
I know,
need
so
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
perfect.
know, the force heat.
Well, you go out of the town towards the ends, and I mean, the sidewalks still look consistently the same, and
Well, this, now,
Probably, I just need a vote to support this, or to submit an application, and with the final details to be worked out with Mary and myself.
Well, I would entertain a motion to support the application as presented and to be fine-tuned
Right.
with Bob and
And Mary.
Mary chairing,
Mhm.
steering the world,
Yes.
steering the cart. So,
I would so move.
Jane made the motion, and second,
Second.
all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I would say, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? So the ayes have it, unanimous. Nice job, Bob. And at this point, we'd be done.
Okay.
So
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that. I don't think we really need to find out if we're all in favor.
Right.
It's- How come your meetings are always quicker than Mary's?
I know, because I forgot to have, well, I forgot to have Mr. Cahoon sign this,
Yeah.
Attorney Cahoon.